Good morning, Dr. Schulte. So this is the videos for Module 4, the cases, Case B I have this time. So the first question is, which manual techniques would be appropriate for this patient? And what is your rationale for each? Week 2 and Week 8. So Week 2, we don't want to do any passive range of motion, any passive joint mobs, anything like that. So we went with some scar mobility, so we'll get my patient here and his big fat scar we see. And so pretty much with scar mobilization, we're trying to just prevent the skin from like puckering and wrinkling, and thus creating range of motion deficits. We want to make it nice and smooth and a nice healing scar, so we can just get over that scar with our fingers, just kind of work it around. And we can do this for every session to make sure it's healing nicely. And then Week 8, we can move into some fun stuff. We can do some manual PNF, so manual resistance. So I would have my patient supine on a treatment table, but we don't have one, so we'll take my patient and we'll have him do some PNF. So we got D1, so that's the Heisman to the uppercut. So we'll have him do that, and then we can have me resist him and go up, turn, 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 turn. Thanks, Dr. Parker. And then we can have him do D2, which is the sword to money. So, sword to money. One more time. Great job, patient. A little harder when you're standing up. We got rhythmic stabilization. So we're going to take our trusty TheraBand here, find a surface to lock it in. We're using my microwave. If it'll work, it doesn't work, so we're just going to pretend that it's hooked up here to something stable. So we'll have my patient grab it, and I'm then going to apply perturbations and have him try to stay stable. And then neural flossing to try to get that nerve through its adhesions that it's most likely gained since he's been immobilized. So we got our 4 ways. So we got this one, radial, median. So every time this way, he's gonna ipsilaterally side bend, and then contralaterally side bend. But of course, to set up, we would start with the wrist down and then move the elbow, find that, and then do it. So side bend this way. Great job. Question 2. What exercise would you prescribe, and when and why? So for weeks 2 and weeks 8 again. So for week 2, we're still pretty early stages. We're just going to have him do isometric stuff. So we can have him do isometric wrist extension. You can push against my hand. And isometric wrist flexion. Great job. We can do some shoulder stuff too. We could go isometric elbow adduction, abduction, my bad. And we could do flexion. Great job. Last question, what therapeutic device? Wait a second, did I forget something? Oh yeah. That was week 2. Yeah, so week 8 is the one I forgot. So week 8 we can finally start incorporating that transverse plane. So we'll start internally and externally rotating. So for example, we'll have my patient come into internal rotation here. So I would get a bolster here, a towel or something, to make sure it's rotating nicely. We got internal rotation, we got external rotation here. And of course, I would start this with manual resistance, and then TheraBand would be once you could tolerate that. And then we could do the PNF again Moving on to maybe some standing stuff with the TheraBand. So we got the TheraBand down here on my foot, and we got a nice concentric and eccentric portion of the movement, and then that was D2, and we got D1. Yeah, that's the end of that question. And finally, what therapeutic devices would you recommend for this patient, and why? I would recommend that hinged elbow brace, given anywhere from 15 to 90 degrees, kind of based off how the patient's feeling, where we are in the program, and it'll just kind of keep that elbow safe and remind him while he's going about his work not to bang that elbow into anything, and tell people to stay away from it to allow healing. So that's all I got for you. Thanks.